To the Point with Michael Williams.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on To the Point. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Jamie Ostroff in for Michael Williams this week, and it has been quite a busy week in politics. Both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump locking up their parties' respective nominations, and early voting just got underway across our 5-county viewing area. Plus, Governor Ron DeSantis ordering officers and National Guard members to the southeast coast to try to curb an influx of immigration from Haiti. We begin, though, with a look at the Florida presidential primary taking place this Tuesday. For most of our viewing area, early voting is now over, but Palm Beach County voters can still head to the polls today. However, so far, local election officials tell us turnout has been on the low side. Let's take a look at those early voting numbers as we headed into the last weekend of early voting. In Palm Beach County, as of Friday, a little over 50,000 people voted early, either by mail or in person. That is just over 10% of eligible voters. In Martin County, just over 6,500 people cast votes. That's just under 10% of eligible voters in that county. And in St. Lucie County, about 9,000 people voted early, about 11% of eligible voters. Indian River County seeing a 14% turnout, just more than 8,000 votes cast there. And finally, Okeechobee County, around 11,000 eligible voters. And of that, they are seeing a roughly 10% turnout. WPTV political analyst Brian Crowley is here with me to talk about some of the reasons why turnout might have been so low this year. But first, we're going to show you some of our conversations we've had with our county supervisors of election to get their take on these numbers.
I have never seen it like this before. I can tell you, there is not a single candidate sign at any of our early voting sites. I haven't seen a single advertisement in print media. I haven't heard anything on the radio.
Our turnout, so far, we have a 10% turnout between our vote by mail ballots and early voting. So if we get 10% more, we will be happy between voting by mail, the rest of early voting, and then, of course, on Election Day.
Getting out and expressing your opinion and voting is critical. I mean, we want that turnout. And again, we have not just the presidential preference primary, but we also have the municipal elections, and those are critical.
And a reminder, early voting runs until 7 tonight in Palm Beach County. It has ended on the Treasure Coast. And if you are voting in the primaries, our WPTV voting guide has everything you need to know before you head to the polls. You can head to WPTV.com or use the QR code on your screen right now. I am joined right now by WPTV political analyst Brian Crowley. Thank you so much for being here to talk about all of this. A primary election that some of these officials who've been doing this for years have said they've never seen anything like this. So what do you make of these low turnout numbers, at least in the early votes?
You know, I think right now a lot of people are turned off by a lot of the candidates. They're looking more at national races. They're getting their guidance from Donald Trump and Joe Biden and what's going on with them and all the drama that surrounds these. And I think there's a certain element of voters who are just tired of it all and don't want to be involved. You know, the downside of that is voters need to be involved. I mean, you know, folks don't appoint themselves to office. Voters send them there, and voters are responsible for the kind of government we have ultimately. So it's important for voters to vote, and they should.
Yeah, you mentioned that apathy. What do you think is factoring into that voter apathy?
Well, you know, it's been a little unusual. I think a lot of the municipal races have not been that hotly contested. Some of the election supervisors pointed out, there hasn't been a lot of campaign commercials. There hasn't been a lot of, you know, yard signs, that kind of active campaigning that we normally see in an election year. I'm not exactly sure why it is quieted down so much. I know the Republican Party in Palm Beach County worked very, very hard to recruit candidates. They trained candidates. They were organizing events at various election locations. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do with their turnout. But yeah, it's an unusually slow time.
Sure. And, you know, this is all leading up to the general election in November. What do you think is in the tea leaves out of these numbers so far?
You know, I think what's going to be interesting when all is said and done on Tuesday is, you know, we didn't have a Democratic presidential primary. The Republicans were counting a lot on a vigorous Republican presidential primary that would help gin turnout. Well, that didn't happen. They really thought by now we would be down to Trump probably leading, Ron DeSantis close behind, maybe Nikki Haley still in the mix. None of that has happened. So you have this less reason for Republican voters to show up in the primaries. You know, one of the interesting side effects of all of that is going to be, there's going to be a close watch to see how well Donald Trump does among Republican voters and how many voters go ahead and vote for Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, or somebody else instead of Donald Trump.
Right, even though Trump is the only active candidate now on the Republican side, the other Republicans' names are still on the ballot in Florida.
And both sides are looking at that closely. There's this organization that's called Republicans Against Trump, and Democrats in Florida are hoping that there'll be this really big gap, that there were 25% of the vote, maybe more, if it would be for Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and then there would point to the idea that Donald Trump really can't win. He can't even hold on to all the Republicans when he's the only one left in the race. And Democrats will start saying in Florida, maybe national Democrats, maybe the Biden campaign should start spending more time in Florida. Maybe there's a chance you can win this state after all. We'll see.
And that's a bit unpredictable because, you know, Florida used to be that swing state, the quintessential swing state, and now it's convincingly red.
Yes, it's very red. And as I've said many times on this show, Florida's been red for a very long time. Starting with the election of Jeb Bush, we got increasingly red, and it's, you know, now the Republicans have over 800,000 more registered voters. It's a mind-blowing number. Democrats have become so weak in this state, they're almost irrelevant.
And I want to talk about the impact that this could have on a lot of these local races. There are sheriff primaries. There's an annexation kind of battle going on in the Palm Beach Gardens, North Palm Beach area. How are these issues possibly going to be affected by A, low voter turnout in general, and B, a complete lack of a Democratic presidential primary?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not, you know, in Palm Beach Gardens, they're having this big annexation battle. In St. Lucie County, there's a big race for sheriff. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not, at least in those areas, they're able to gin up the return a little bit more by the time we get done Tuesday night, because people are feeling passionate about some of those issues. But in sort of the routine municipal election, it's the curse of the down ballot. When you have a really, really long ballot, people will tend to vote for the top of the ballot, and as they get down, they start not voting. They don't necessarily vote for the judges. They don't necessarily vote for, you know, other campaigns that they just don't have any interest in. And, you know, it would be interesting to see if that changes a little bit this time, but, you know, a lot of the municipal elections are routine right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great case for local officials to start really promoting those local races to voters and really sell them on doing more research and voting on those down ballot issues.
Yeah, I think in some cases that, you know, you have candidates who are really strong, they're incumbents, and I think in some cases the people running against them, they're not raising very much money, they're not very strong candidates, so the incumbent can kind of sit it off to the side unless they see something dramatic that changes it, then you just leave it alone because you think you're going to win anyway.
Very quickly, Brian, I want 3 words. What do you think the biggest issues are going to be that are going to motivate voters on Tuesday?
On Tuesday, I think partisan politics. 2 words.
That's 2 of the 3.
I'll have to save the 3rd one for later.
All right, thanks, Brian. We'll leave it at that, but we've got a lot more ahead for you. Up next, Governor Ron DeSantis ordering officers and soldiers to the southeast coast to try to stop a potential rise in immigration from Haiti. Our roundtable continues after the break.